Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. This is another edition of KSJE On the Road. We are on the road today from the Navajo Lake Marina. We'll be talking about some of the new additions to the marina this season and much, much more. That's coming up on KSJE On the Road.
This corner of the world is our corner. The caregivers of San Juan Regional Medical Center are working together in a shared mission and vision to deliver world-class care, making life better for the communities we're privileged to serve. Life is our sacred trust. Better is our mission. Here is our home. San Juan Regional Medical Center. To life better here. Visit lifebetterhere.com to learn more.
KSJE On the Road is supported by Four Corners Economic Development, supporting and building economically vibrant businesses and communities in the Four Corners region through effective partnerships. FORSET is a public-private partnership that unites county and municipal governments with its member businesses and other resource partners to build the intentional economic future of San Juan County. Learn more about the ways FORSET is helping existing businesses thrive and grow and attracting new businesses to the community at the number 4cornersed.com.
There are days when the weight of the world is heavy on your shoulders. But there is something you should know. You are never alone. There are beautiful people in this world who will walk with you when you feel off course, guide you when you need it most. They are there for you, and they're closer than you think.
KSJE On the Road is supported by San Juan County, building a stronger community since 1887. San Juan County includes the San Juan County Sheriff's Office, San Juan County Fire and Rescue, San Juan County Office of Emergency Management, and Riverview Golf Course in Kirkland. The mission of San Juan County is to provide responsible public services through the direction of the County Commission, while striving to be professional, courteous, and committed to improving the quality of life for citizens that it serves. Learn more at sjcounty.net.
At San Juan County Partnership, our mission is a thriving and healthy community. We strive to achieve this through educating our youth about eating healthy, moving every day, and the harmful effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. We educate adults about access to health care, the dangers of polysubstance use, and drinking and driving. We work hard to keep families housed and to help those without permanent shelter have a place to call home. We are here for you. We are San Juan County Partnership.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. This is KSJE On the Road. We are out at Navajo Lake Marina, and I'm pleased to be joined by the owner of the Navajo Lake Marina. Jarrett Johnson is my guest on this program. Mr. Johnson, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Scott, thank you for having me today. Excited to be here.
You bet. Just looking around, there's a lot of things that are new out here at Navajo Lake. If folks haven't been out here in a season or two, they may be pleasantly surprised as to some of the investments that you have made. And I know you're going to show us some of these things as well, but a big investment. You've owned this property since when now?
Since July of 2013, so yes, over 10 years now. Seems like just yesterday.
I imagine it does, right? And so, but a lot of things. And when you first bought this property, I guess what was it that struck you when you wanted to make an offer?
Well, I looked all around the country. I had just enough money that I had to pick the right place. I couldn't guess, and
Okay.
I came out here, and first time I came out here, I knew this was the one. I just fell in love with it, and it was perfect, and did need some TLC over the years, but I think we got it about where we need it.
Right. And the other unique thing, I guess, about your business here is that you deal with, on a pretty regular basis, several governmental and regulatory agencies, right, to be able to do what you do here.
Absolutely. It's unique, it's challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time. So we work with the New Mexico State Parks. They're great to work with. And then Bureau of Reclamations and even the Army Corps of Engineers get approval, and typically takes 6 to 12 months to get approval on big projects.
Right. Gotcha. And so you took me on a little bit of a tour not too long ago to show me a little bit of some of the improvements that you have made over the last winter, basically, because of a pretty big storm that hit here back in August of last summer.
Scott, you're right. August 21st, it was a beautiful day, just like today out. And actually had an event going on out here late afternoon, early evening, and that wrapped up. And 10 minutes later, the skies turned black. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds coming through here, and it was one of probably the strongest winds I've felt out here. It did a lot of damage to our docks, predominantly to the remaining docks we had left from the 1960s. Everything else had been replaced, so that was our one saving grace, was that 90% of the damage was contained to the docks that we kind of had on our 5 to 10-year slate to be replaced.
Got you. And so those older docks, they were a little bit different than the more modern docks, I guess, right? Were they more wooden, or what was the difference?
That's true. They were concrete decks, but the concrete was deteriorating. They had open cell foam, so in other words, the styrofoam was exposed to the water, which isn't the best environmental option in today's standards. We've learned a lot since the 1960s, and really gave us a chance to bring things up and make them state of the art. Both from a customer aspect as well as an environmental and a safety aspect.
Gotcha. And so talk to me a little bit about some of the other amenities that are out here. One of the things that you've added is a fishing hole for everybody to be able to come out and check out, huh?
Scott, that's right. We've got a fishing hole behind our store. That was one of our additions in 2017 when we replaced a lot of stuff out here that year, and we're excited to have it. It's free of charge. Families can come out and fish. There's seating, handrails around it. You have over 150 Christmas trees hanging down 10 to 20 feet underwater, giving fish habitat, and which brings all the small fish in, bait fish, and in turn brings the larger fish in. So we've really tried to make this a destination, not just for boaters, but for non-boaters. You can come out here and run in the splash pad, go through the fishing hole, have lunch at the cafe. We want people to get out here and experience the water and introduce them to boating and what we're all about.
Sure. And you said, when you said Christmas trees to me before, I thought that was a fishing term, but you're talking about actual Christmas trees that are in the water creating that habitat, right?
Literal Christmas trees. We'll go around after Christmas and gather up Christmas trees and put a cinder block on one end and rope on the other, and we'll dangle those down, and it creates great fish habitat.
Very good. But you don't necessarily guarantee you're going to catch a fish, but it sounds like you've got a pretty good habitat down there.
We can't guarantee it, but it's one of the best spots on the lake that you can get to without a boat, for sure.
Fair enough. Now talk to me about some of these new docks that you've been putting in. Some are quite significant, and there's 4 areas, right, of newer construction that you've put in over the winter?
That's correct. We had four primary areas of damage, and we replaced 4 primary areas. And the thing of significance about it was, again, we normally have a 6 to 12-month approval process, and we had to get all this expedited because it really, quite frankly, wasn't safe on those docks. So we had to replace them, and we worked with the various government agencies, and hands off to them. They were great to work with. They got us approvals in less than 90 days, and we had to go out on a limb and sign contracts that were non-refundable before we had the approvals and put money on the table. And And we literally had a couple $1 million in non-refundable money out fabricating docks that we did not have approval for yet. And we just had our fingers crossed that we were going to get everything procured, be able to put those in. And luckily, everything went our direction, and we were able to get them. And we had a wonderful maintenance team that worked their tails off, and we worked all winter, 6 days a week, some pretty cold days, and
Right.
we were able to get it done. So,
A test of faith, I guess, is what it sounds like to me too.
great way to put it.
Yeah, right. And so, and also you had these docks that were destroyed or damaged during that storm. You had customers with boats, I guess, at those docks, or they were paying for space if the boat wasn't in the dock, right? So you had to get ready for this season to have room for them.
We definitely had some business disruption. We were playing musical boats almost every single day. We'd go to replace one boathouse, and everything had to be moved to a different dock. And then as soon as we got that one in, we'd have to put the roof on, and everyone would have to be moved back. So some of these customers' boats, they were real gracious with us, but they've been moved 7, 8, 9 times during the process to make all this happen in a timely manner.
Right, right. But now you've got newer docks and maybe a little more modern docks and bigger spaces for more modern craft, I guess. Is that also kind of a blessing from what happened?
That's true.
Mixed blessing?
So we had about 150 slips that were damaged that we took out. We replaced them with a little over 170 slips. But those 170 slips used substantially more water space because we wanted to modernize everything. So boats over the years have gotten a little taller, they've gotten a little wider. We had slips that had a 3-foot walkway on one side of the slip and a 1-foot divider on the other side to kind of separate it and the boat next to it, but it wasn't very conducive to walk down. So we've replaced those with wider fingers on each side. All our walkways are now 8 to 12 feet wide, whereas we had 4-foot center walkways before. The roof lines are higher, which allows us to put in hydro hoist or other kind of boat lifts that will store the customer's boat out of the water and keep it from getting algae growth or electrolysis, or heaven forbid something were to fail on the boat, your boat's now lifted up out of the water and you have a second layer of protection. So it's in the end, I think it's going to be some short-term both financial pain and working through the winter, but now that we're coming out on the other side, I really think it's going to be a blessing for the business and for the customer.
Yeah. And what are you hearing from your customers who have seen the improvements, I guess? Are they pleasantly surprised and able to kind of have more elbow room for their boat?
I think our customer base is really excited about the change. Our 800 dock that I think was in one of the shots, that there's a lot of boat slips past that. And we kind of had a bottleneck there with a narrow walkway, and people would come out and they'd have a dock cart that they pull all their stuff on. 2 people couldn't get past each other. Now we have a 12-foot walkway through there, and it's kind of like a German Autobahn. I mean, it's really going to move some customers through there, I think.
Gotcha. If I can't get my cooler to my boat, you're going to hear about it. And you probably don't hear about that as much anymore.
Well, Scott, you let me know if you can.
Oh, I'm sure I can. That's true. But that's great. And another thing I wanted to ask you about is, of course, the water levels out here at Navajo Lake. That's something I know you can't control. It's really up to Mother Nature. But we're looking around, and it looks like things are looking pretty good as far as water levels are so far this year. Snowpack's about average, I think. So what are you looking at for the season, do you think?
Well, Scott, I'm always looking for a little more water, and snowpack wasn't quite where we wanted it this year. But with that said, we're in a real fortunate situation out here at Navajo Lake. So we're the first lake to get the water because of some agreements with Nappy Irrigation. They can only draw this lake down so far. So last time I checked, which was probably maybe a month ago, we had more water in this reservoir than the next 5 largest lakes in New Mexico combined by over 50%. So,
Thanks.
So we're really fortunate, and a lot of people don't realize that roughly 85% of the water for the state of New Mexico flows right here through San Juan County. between what comes in the Navajo Lake and the Animas, roughly 85% of the water for the state. So we're in pretty good shape there. And this lake's always fairly predictable. We can get down, and we are down a little bit right now, but where some of the lakes go down to 2 or 3% of volume, we go down to 55-60%.
Right. Very good. Well, and it's a great place, and I know it attracts a lot of people from the local area and from outside the local area, which I think is also part of the reasons behind some of your investments out here, to get some folks who come in for a long weekend or a week away or things like that. I want to ask you a little bit about some of the rental opportunities and other things that you've got out here for folks to spend more time with you and your business.
So our rental program has been a really shining point for us out here. When we acquired the Marina, we had 7 rental boats, and it was kind of, I don't want to say an afterthought, but it wasn't a primary focus. And since that point, we've seen over 1,000% gains in our business. We now have over 50 powered watercraft. We have kayaks, paddle boards, bumper boats, floating trikes that you can ride on the water. We really want to be able to get that next generation of boater out here and really introduce them to the water. So that's something we focused on a lot, is trying to have things that are price conscientious to introduce those people to the water. And one thing we did that we're really proud of is we came up with something called a fun pass. So you go to a lot of lakes, and it's $60 to rent a paddleboard for 4 hours or something like that. You get a family of 4, that's outside of a lot of people's means. So we came up with something called a fun pass, the ultimate fun pass, and for $39.99, you can get unlimited access all day long to kayaks, paddleboards, even our bumper boats, anything you want. And of course, kids can occasionally be indecisive. So
you're kidding me.
I know,
really?
Right? Yeah, some of our dockheads will be swapping those kids out 10 or 12 different times. They want a paddleboard,
sure,
they want this, and they go back and forth. But that's what we're here for. We're here to accommodate them, and it doesn't matter how many different things they want to try. We're going to be here for them. So it's a great program, and you have all day, so you don't feel rushed. If you want to go in the cafe and grab a burger midday, you don't feel like you're on a time limit. So
right,
it's been real successful for us.
Congratulations. Very good. And there's also places for folks to stay overnight.
That's right.
If they want to do that too, right?
We've added aqua lodges, which are like a little larger, tiny home. They sleep up to 8 people, and those lodges, there's a loft with 2 queens up there, and then you got 2 more bedrooms downstairs. There's a kitchenette. They've got an amazing little patio out front with an artificial palm tree and fire pit and barbecue grills and seating area with this phenomenal view of the lake, and it's really one of the best views around here, honestly.
It looks pretty good from that deck, that's for sure. And we're taking a look at some of those right now, different colored roofs. You've got a kind of a Caribbean feel out here.
That's what we really wanted to do. We wanted it to be fun and exciting to come out here and give you that Bahamas vibe when you're in highland desert. And I feel like our team's done a good job of trying to achieve that.
I never thought I'd see a palm tree in San Juan County, but I see it out here. I see them all over the place out here.
Absolutely.
That's part of it, right? And so we're looking at some of the aqua lodges right now. And so in addition to those, are there still houseboat rentals and things like that too for folks?
So the houseboat rentals we did give up little bit ago.
Gotcha.
But we have the floating lodges,
yeah,
and then we actually have pontoon boats.
It's the pontoon
go
boats
all
I was
the way
thinking
up to 36 feet. And
okay.
To give you an example, a 36-foot pontoon boat, those hold 20 people. They have a restroom on them. They've got a barbecue grill, and they have not 1 but 2 water slides. So the kids love to get up there, and it's only a 1-second ride, but they still find a way to race each other down the water slides. And people will take those. We do offer those for overnight options. So
okay.
A lot of times people like to go do primitive camping on the lake, everything like that. And they'll take one of those boats for 2 or 3 nights.
Gotcha. So that's what you've got for overnight on the water.
On the water.
Yeah.
But
although the aqua lodges are floating on the water too.
A lot of people they'll rent a smaller boat. They'll bring their own boat up, and they have access to get on the water, and they don't have to mess with anchoring and figuring out how to do this, do that. If they forgot something, the store's a short walk away, and then go get a fresh bag of ice, and you're not up a canyon, 2-hour boat ride, and a lot of people actually like it better because they can take their small boat and go up the lake and get that exclusivity and privacy, and then come back and have all the amenities right there at the marina and come have dinner at the cafe.
Right, very true. I'm looking at the video that we shot of the aqua lodges and the decks, and of course the outdoor kitchens that you have, as you talked about, and then there's also a community fire pit that's out there as well. But and the beautiful view as you mentioned. So and the fueling dock, I guess, is that like dinner and a show?
It is. Yeah, you get a little show with it.
Okay.
We have all our rental boats. They have to come back to that place, and sometimes you don't have the most experienced drivers, and all our boats are due back right when the afternoon monsoons hit. So you get winds that are sometimes challenging for even an experienced boat driver, and you can sit out there and see a pretty entertaining show and everything.
Okay.
But our team, they run around like crazy, and I'm proud of those young men and women. They do a good job of getting everybody back in safe and sound and
Nice.
ready for the next day.
Very, very good. Well, and again, we are here a little bit early in the season, but I imagine in a day from now even, the situation out here could look very, very different. I mean, there'll be a lot more people, and things will get very busy in a very short period of time.
That's right. We're a little bit weather dependent at this time of year. We got a gorgeous weekend coming up, and expect our parking lot to be pretty full. But once Memorial Weekend gets here, that's really when things go crazy out here, and you've got people lining up to get in on the busy weekends, and it stays that way all the way through Labor Day, and then we slowly taper back off and get a little R&R in the off season, or
Little break.
build 170 slips, one or the other.
there you go. Very true. Well, and I guess you probably think about what to do for the next season, right? And it seems to me you've been constantly improving things out here, whether it's building of the marina and the cafe and the store and the things like that, or just the docks and other things too. But that always seems to be something that maybe you're looking for the next season is what needs to be improved upon, or what will attract a new line of customers, perhaps.
Most definitely. I can hardly remember a year that we didn't spend at least $1 million in the off season trying to improve our facilities out here. You know, during the summer, our maintenance team is in keep up mode and trying to keep everything looking great for the customer. But when that off season hits, that's really when we have the opportunity to look towards the future and try to improve our facility and get it ready for better for the next year.
You say that $1 million very calmly, and to me, any number with a comma makes me really nervous. So, but that's the cost of doing business.
Well, I'll tell you, the second year I was out here, we had our old store. There was only room for maybe 2 boats to pull up front, and we said, well, we've got to fix this, and we talked to our dock builders, and we're going to put a little walkway and 5 or 6 slips out there, and I want to say it was $64,000, and I can't tell you how much sleep I lost over that first investment. And since that time, we've realized that, you know, we believe in our customer base, and our customer base believes in us, and now I'm able to handle those commas a little easier than initially.
Good. Well, that's a good thing. And it seems like the folks have kind of, the old phrase, if you build it, they will come. That seems to be what's happening here. You've made a big investment, but you've also, I think, have seen a big increase in customers.
That's right. We started with 267 slips back in 2013. Today we have over 525 slips. Those slips have grown in size. Out of the original 267 slips, I was actually surprised the other day when I went through. We only have 36 slips left out of those 267, and those really aren't that old of slips. They were put in 2008, and they meet all the requirements of today's boaters. So we feel like we've really brought the facility a long ways.
And I asked you this earlier, and you were telling me a little bit, if you have a running total of the amount of investment that you've made out here over the time that you've owned Navajo Lake Marina, but it's substantial.
Yeah, so we're, little less than 12 years in, and we've put roughly $24 million into it. A lot of that's been backloaded over the last 5 or 6 years. We built the new store and restaurant and everything in 2017, and won Large Marina of the Year by Marina Dock Age magazine that year. So that was something that we're really proud of our team for doing. They all worked real hard to get that done.
And that recognition is significant because it is taking a look at all marinas in North America? Is that true?
All marinas. So
Okay.
you think freshwater, saltwater, big piers in New York City or Fort Lauderdale, or a $300 million marina down in St. Thomas. You're competing against all those players in the field, and it was a real honor. We actually flew some of our team up to Nashville to accept the award, and really, really proud of them.
Nice. Well, congratulations for that. And does that, I guess, help you to, look as you look around and the investment that you've made, kind of make it worthwhile, I guess, to see some of that recognition from peers in the industry of what you're doing out here?
It does. It really does. I always believe that everybody does something better than you. So I really like to go around to other marinas. I've been to over 3,000 marinas in my lifetime, and I like to get ideas and figure out, can we implement that in our facility and make it better? Even the most mom and pop small operation, there's always something to be taken away from what they do, and I believe full-heartedly in that. So I'm always out trying to see what they do, and I'm real proud of what our team's done here.
Nice. Well, congratulations. And I think the other thing that I wanted to point out is what got you on my radar was the business was honored by Four Corners Economic Development a couple of years ago at the EDGE Awards for the work that you're doing and the investments that you are making. And so, again, I think you're seeing some local recognition, too.
Yes, we won the EDGE Awards, and I can't remember if that was 24, I believe it was.
Maybe, right?
Couple years ago. And that was really, really a great acknowledgement of what we're doing out here. And Four Corners Economic Development, that's a great organization that's doing a lot for our community here, and we were real honored to be awarded that.
Nice. And do you track when you have customers out here, if they're from in the county or outside the county? Do you have any records on that, or do you keep track of some of that?
We try to keep some level of analytics on it. It can be difficult outside of social media and everything, because
Sure.
you're dealing with in-person visitation. I think it's really depends on our segment. So we have some areas where we predominantly pull from Farmington and the Four Corners region. Our slip holders, our largest segment is actually Albuquerque. And then you look at something like our lodges, or even when we had houseboat rentals, that was predominantly Colorado Springs was our largest pool. So,
Interesting.
So we are pulling from multiple different states and bringing them down here. And we've actually been to the Denver Boat Show, and a lot of people referred to us as the Little Lake Pal. And
Okay.
I take that as a compliment.
Right.
I'm happy with that. So
Right.
It's an option for those people to come down and see us.
But you're getting busier and busier, and I guess maybe for some long-time visitors to Navajo Lake, are they okay with the increased crowds and boat traffic and things like that at your peak season? I guess it's a mixed blessing.
It's a mixed blessing. Yeah, I think it's a little love and hate, and this has been their gym for so many years, and they refer to it as New Mexico's best kept secret. And a part of them wants to keep it that way, but a part of them also loves the modern amenities and the new features that those new customer base allow us to add that benefits our existing customer.
Right. Very good. Well, what's next, I guess, is something. We just have a couple minutes left, Mr. Johnson, this afternoon. But what's next on your wish list, I guess, to do out here?
Well, we've replaced all our aging docks, so that's off the checklist.
Okay.
I think we have some room for some expansion over the next multiple years, and we plan on doing that. We're looking at possibly putting in some more 90-foot slips and 75-foot slips. We have boats that go all the way to just north of 100 feet out here, so it's really like a second home for those folks. You know, you're talking 4 or 5 bedroom, 3 bath boats, and we want to be able to continue to service that market as well as every other. So maybe this winter I might take a little R&R after building everything, but it'll be short-lived. We're always on the ball and trying to look for the next best and greatest thing that we can do for our customer base. We really want to support them.
Sounds great. Well, I think after last winter with the construction and the storm, no one would begrudge you having a winter off maybe for this year. We'll see, right?
That's true.
Never know. Well, thank you for spending some time with me and for talking about the Marina and all the work that you have done and your team. And it's looking like it's going to be a great summer season out here.
We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great summer. And Scott, thanks for having me on.
You bet. Thank you very much. It's Jarrett Johnson. He is the owner of the Navajo Lake Marina, my guest on our latest KSJE On the Road program.
KSJE On the Road is supported by San Juan County, building a stronger community since 1887. San Juan County includes the San Juan County Sheriff's Office, San Juan County Fire and Rescue, San Juan County Office of Emergency Management, and Riverview Golf Course in Kirtland. The mission of San Juan County is to provide responsible public services through the direction of the County Commission, while striving to be professional, courteous, and committed to improving the quality of life for citizens that it serves. Learn more at sjcounty.net.
There are days when the weight of the world is heavy on your shoulders. But there is something you should know. You are never alone. There are beautiful people in this world who will walk with you when you feel off course, guide you when you need it most. They are there for you, and they're closer than you think.
KSJE On the Road is supported by Four Corners Economic Development, supporting and building economically vibrant businesses and communities in the Four Corners region through effective partnerships. FORSET is a public-private partnership that unites county and municipal governments with its member businesses and other resource partners to build the intentional economic future of San Juan County. Learn more about the ways FORSET is helping existing businesses thrive and grow and attracting new businesses to the community at the number 4cornersed.com.
This corner of the world is our corner. The caregivers of San Juan Regional Medical Center are working together in a shared mission and vision to deliver world-class care, making life better for the communities we're privileged to serve. Life is our sacred trust. Better is our mission. Here is our home. San Juan Regional Medical Center. To life better here. Visit lifebetterhere.com to learn more.
At San Juan County Partnership, our mission is a thriving and healthy community. We strive to achieve this through educating our youth about eating healthy, moving every day, and the harmful effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. We educate adults about access to health care, the dangers of polysubstance use, and drinking and driving. We work hard to keep families housed and to help those without permanent shelter have a place to call home. We are here for you. We are San Juan County Partnership.